Today I will be using a full team of Pokemon based on pride flags. If you have an idea for a Pokemon team, be sure to comment below, and I will use it. And if you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe. Now let's get right into the battles. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, lovely people. Today I am using a pride flag team. This is the 7th pride flag team that I'm done. Now, right now I'm currently at 42 pride flags, and my next mini goal with this series is to get to 50 pride flags, because that's half of 100, and that's really wild. So, as always, if you would like to see more of these pride flag teams, if this video gets 25 likes, I will do an 8th pride flag team. Never going above the like goal, never going below it. So, I hope you will enjoy these two interesting battles. Now, I have this war turtle here for gender or gender apathetic. I want to give a special thank you to Lord Darner for this suggestion, but I changed Blastoise to war turtle just because I thought that war turtle matched the color better because it's like lighter. Unfortunately, I get Custap buried into the earthquake and I'm gonna get taken out. Oh, I was actually so close to going for protect there, and I also had Rapid Spin on that set as well. So that's really unfortunate. I couldn't get rid of the Stealth Rock set up by the Dawn fan, but I'm just gonna go into my Aplatonic Sneasler here and take it out with the Choice Scarf U-turn. So I'll go over that set more later on. Now, into my Dragalge here. Now, this particular flag was really hard for me to find a Pokemon for, because there aren't really many Pokemon that are like purple and then this juxtaposition to like green and blue, right? So I thought, shiny Dragalge matched the colors the best in my opinion, and I'm running a pretty interesting set on this. Now, this is a physical Dragalge, and with the adaptability, I could hit some really big damage with a choice band because I'm running Outrage on this. Now, the Blaziken is gonna end up being Speed Boost Protect, and I thought, well, I should be able to tank any +2 hit if it's close combat or if it's like a fire move, but they end up going for Baton Pass. So I was like, oh, they bring in their Mamoswine. I don't care what kind of Mamoswine this is. I am a choice banded, max attack, adaptability boosted Outrage, and that just takes it out in one hit. I was like, that's really good. I denied that his +2 attack, +1 speed Mamoswine, that could have easily threatened me. So they're going to bring in the Ho-Oh, very fitting for this Pride Flag team. And I'm going to live that Earthquake, thankfully, and I get up some big chip damage against this Ho-Oh. Now, I really didn't have many switch-ins to this thing, so I thought, well, I'm just gonna stay in on the Earthquake, and I'm gonna get taken out there by that. But man, that Dragalge, it's really good. And you'll see him more in the next battle. Now, into Sneasler here for the Aplatonic flag. Now, this was another flag that I had trouble with color correcting it, but I thought that Sneasler matched the best because it has all of the colors, almost like the purple skin. It has the light yellow overall skin color, and it's shiny, and it actually has green eyes, which is also part of the flag. So I thought that was perfect, just like this Swampert here as well for this flag. So I have this especially defensive Swampert here. I'm just gonna send that in versus the Regieleki. And I knew that they would probably sacrifice their Blaziken here, so I just opted to go for the Liquidation to take out this threat. So I was like, okay, that's really good. But in comes the Rillaboom here. So I was like, okay, well, chances are that I'm going to get Grassy Glided here for sure. I don't really want to stay in on this Pokemon. I don't really want to use up my Terra either, because then I'll get hit by Regieleki's moves, and Regieleki is very powerful with its Transistor ability. So I'm just going to bring in my Sneasler here, maybe anticipating them to want to go for a Grassy Glide or a Grass move on this, but they actually go for Acrobatics on me. So I was like, okay, that's a good play. It covers for both of my resists on this team anyway. So bringing in my Jumpluff here for the Achillean flag. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. This is for men aligned and NB people that are attracted to other men aligned and NB people. So as always, I'll offer an explanation for each of the identities that I feature in this team. As always, I'm running a Choice Specs Jumpluff. This Pokemon has base 55 special attack. It's really not meant to be offensive at all, but I take out the Rillaboom with Choice Specs Terra Blast Flying. This Pokemon does not get any special flying coverage move whatsoever, so I was like, that's a really great KO to get on that thing. I also have a Dazzling Gleam, Leaf Storm, and U-turn with Infiltrator. So the Regieleki is going to come in, and it's obviously going to go for Terra Ice, and I was like, okay, well, this Pokemon is definitely very threatening, and I need to hopefully be able to tank these hits. So obviously the Terra Ice Terra Ice Terra Blast is going to be enough to take out my Jump Bluff there. I thought that Jump Bluff was like the best fit for the Achillean flag because it has like the blue and like the white on it with like the flower, whatever flower is featured on it. I don't remember off the top of my head. But I'm going to bring in Golurk here for the Paragender flag. Now, this is a pretty interesting Golurk set. I actually lived the Terra Blast Ice. I was like, that's really good because I'm able to get off the body press on this thing, and I do so much damage to this. This is a defensive Golurk. I thought Golurk was like really good for the Paragender flag because mainly the whole idea with the Paragender identity is that it's meant for people who feel very closely to a gender, like 50 to 99%, but don't identify with that gender. And the main colors that are featured on it, like other than the gray and white, I thought matched Golurk very well. So it was like a squish Golurk color in a sense. So the Regice is going to go for the Terra Blast Ice. Not sure if this is like physical or like special. I'm assuming that it's special because I'm running a max defense, or not max defense, but I'm running a more defensive Golurk. And I'm going to be able to take out the Regieleki with the liquidation. So that's the end of the first game. Really interesting stuff there. Now on to the second battle here. Now, as always, I will say if you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting the like button, and also please consider subscribing to my channel. I do these kinds of things like on a bi-weekly basis, so I hope you enjoyed these battles. Now, into this lead Volcarona, I have this Choice Scarf Sneasler, which I missed my Gunk Shot versus. I was like, no, in case they Quiver Dance, I could still be able to outspeed and 2-hit KO them, but unfortunately, I have to swap. Now, I'm running a Terra Dark Sneasler on that with Night Slash, and no, not Night Slash, I'm running Throat Chop, and I'm running U-Turn, Gunk Shot, and Close Combat. It's actually really nice. It's my first time using Sneasler, so I want to use an interesting set like that instead of using a, what's that ability? Unburden. Yeah, so into my Dragalge here. Now, I'm not going to flip turn against the Dragonite, not the Dragalge. That's me. And that's going to be good because I'm going to break the Dragonite's multi-scale, which is obviously really important. So, not sure what this Dragonite is going to do. I was thinking that it might go for, like, Dragon Dances, but it ends up hitting me with a really powerful Earthquake. I was like, wow, that did a lot of damage. So, I'm thinking that this Pokemon is definitely, like, Choice Banded, seeing the damage. So, I'm just going to get my Body Press chip. It doesn't really do too much, but I'm running a really interesting set on that. It's Trick with an Assault Vest with Klutz. So, obviously, Assault Vest is an item that you basically have to run every like attacking move because status moves don't work. But with Klutz, it ignores the effects of the Assault Vest. So I thought, you know, if I trick a defensive Pokemon an Assault Vest, they could be like completely countered. And I actually have enough speed investment on that Golurk to outspeed non-invested Corviknight, so I could always trick a Corviknight an Assault Vest, and they can't go for Roost or like Iron Defenses and everything. So I'm gonna speed up this part of the battle. This Golden Go ended up not getting 2-hit KO'd by my liquidation, so I was like, okay, well, it ended up having Recover as well. So I was like, okay, well, I'm taking these Shadow Balls at the very least. I'm running a Bulk Up Liquidation Rest Sleep Talk Swampert here for the Trixic flag. Now, I thought that Swampert matched this flag super well, like the pink and the purple and the orange especially. I was originally gonna go with Toxapex and Shiny Toxapex for Toric and Trixic, just because when I do these like types of flags that are like somewhat like related but like opposite, I like to use Pokemon that are like somewhat related, like I did with the Demi Boy and Demi Girl flag with Carbink and Diancie. But unfortunately, I just couldn't find a good Pokemon for the Toric color scheme, so I just ended up going with Swampert and Dragalge. I also Sprout Mashed it, but please don't make me use Sprout. So the Golden Go is gonna get taken out there finally, and in comes the Volcarona. Now I was like, I am 100% assuming that a Giga Drain is coming my way, so swapping back in my Dragalge here. Now Dragalge went really good in this battle. Now I'm going to be able to tank that Giga Drain. Dragalge has really good special defense, so I'm able to tank whatever hits this Volcarona has, and I assume that it's not running Psychic as well. Otherwise, they probably would have went for that turn 1 against my Sneasler. So I'm going to go for another flip turn and into my Jump Bluff. Now, I do have Dazzling Gleam on this. Extreme Speed does a lot of damage to me, but I'm able to take it at the very least. And I'm going to go for the Dazzling Gleam and finish off the Dragonite there. So I'm not sure if that crit even mattered, by the way. Like, I faced off against a Hydreigon with this Jump Bluff, and I went for Dazzling Gleam, 4 times super effective, didn't even get the KO. Great job. So into my Sneasler here. I'm not sure if this Volcarona is running like Quiver Dance, because it hasn't went for Quiver Dance. All it's went for is Fiery Dance and Giga Drain. So I'm not sure what other moves that this could have, if it's even like Sweeping Volcarona or if it's like a bulkier one. So unfortunately, my Sneasler gets taken out there by the Fiery Dance. I was thinking that they might go for a potential potential quiver dance there. So I'm gonna flip turn out into Tinkaton. This was pretty interesting because the Tinkaton pickpockets my choice band. I was like, oh no, this because Tinkaton actually has a Gigaton hammer, which is going to hit pretty hard. Now, this was an interesting turn because they actually ended up going for Terra Ice. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna get hit by an Ice Hammer for sure, I was thinking. And I actually went for the Leaf Storm this turn, trying to get as much damage as possible, but I barely missed a KO on this thing, unfortunately. And they actually go for Gigaton Hammer, so I was like, okay, well, obviously my jump bluff's gonna get flattened there. But at the very least, they can't go for that next turn because of the fact that Gigaton Hammer only works like every other turn, right? So they actually end up staying in and going for the Choice Banded Struggle, and they're going to take themselves out. They actually still did a good chunk of damage to me. Unfortunately, I didn't go for Rest this turn, though. I actually ended up just going for the Liquidation in case they opted to swap out because they were obviously locked in with Choice Band, right? So they're going to bring back in their Volcarona, and I'm just going to sacrifice my Swampert here. It did a lot of good work versus the Golden Go anyway, so... And I wanted to get a clean switch into my Dragalge because I didn't want this Pokemon to get damaged too much. So, they're obviously going to end up swapping their Volcarona, but now that the Tinkaton is fainted, I can freely go for like Gunk Shots and Outrages. So going for the Gunk Shot, Belly Bolt is a really bulky Pokemon. It has a lot of HP, but I'm able to do like a 2-hit KO versus it, and they only have Hyper Voice to deal with me. So, I'm going to take out the Belly Bolt. Thankfully, I don't miss my Gunk Shots versus this thing. And the last Pokemon they have is a Fuecoco. I was like, oh my goodness, what? Okay, so I ended up swapping out here because I'm not sure if this was like a mini Skelly Dirge, if it was like a more defensive set. Like if I really didn't want my Dragalge to get burned by a Will-O-Wisp, especially since I no longer had my Choice Band. If it was a bulky set, which I don't think it was because I just took it out with my Golurk, but I swapped in Golurk just in case like if it was like a Will-O-Wisp bulky set, I could go for Trick and then trick it an Assault Vest, and therefore it can't go for like Slack Offs or Whirlwind or like Roar or anything. I've actually used defensive Fuecoco myself. It was like the second team that I used actually, and it ended up being pretty interesting to say the least. I'm not saying it's better than Skeledirge or anything, but props for using Fuecoco. Now, just barely missed a KO on the Outrage, but I was thinking that this Volcarona might be more of a bulkier one, and even judging by the Giga Drain damage, the crit damage from Giga Drain, I was thinking that I might be able to tank a critical hit Fiery Dance from this thing anyway. And I'm going to go for the Outrage and take out the Volcarona, and that's going to be the end of both games. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for the support on the continued Pride Flag series. My name is SkyLaaa. Don't forget to smile, and I will see you all next time.